know I'm fat, but Jesus Christ. Am I looking?
Good morning, everyone. It is 10 a.m. It is Friday, October 4th. I've been actually on time. I have my co-host partner. I'm really loud. I'm gonna apologize for that because I did not realize I can. Yeah. So good morning. I have my special guest star in here. We have once again PC Giancarlo Marrelli. He is our traffic services planner. If you don't know what a planner does, neither does he. But he is here.
I'm here. Don't know
because
what
he
I
is
do,
my
but
traffic as specialist. So we're excited to have you all here. I'm going to open up the chat because I'll be honest with you, I haven't said, Akela, good morning, Akela. You're already on top of it. Woo. Wow. I appreciate you, Akela, so much. I can already see that. Yeah.
Good morning. So, I want to apologize first and foremost for Peter's his behavior last show when it was like pretty much cold. I wasn't able to say goodbye to the followers and everyone that's watching. So I want to apologize that it wasn't a proper goodbye. It did take me a few hours to recover, but I'm pretty sure everyone's okay with that. I recovered, and I haven't accepted Peter's apology yet. So just letting you guys know that we will have a better goodbye this time, I promise. So good morning, everyone out there. Thanks for joining us. And yes, unfortunately, Peter's with us still. But anyways, yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Just to give you guys all a heads up, our Vision Zero teams, today's focus is 14 division and 43. That doesn't mean that we're not doing enforcement across the city. However, that's where our Vision Zero team's focus is 14 division and 43. And if you don't know where you live or what division you live, because I know I just base everything. When I have conversations with people at times, all I say is, oh yeah, that's 14 division. Or, oh yeah, you live in 12 division. And people like have no idea. And it's because I base the city on my career of this is your invisible border and you live in this division. But if you're ever wondering, where do you live? You can find a link. If you check our X account, you can find a link there. It'll take you directly to, you just type in your address and it'll tell you the division that is serving you. And yeah, so let's get to, we're getting already some good mornings.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you both and everyone out there. Thank you, Julie. Good morning to you. Happy Friday.
That's why we're so excited. It's Friday. It's Friday,
and I forgot to put the Instagram on live. There we go. We're just ignoring the few hundred people there, but we'll get them in. Sorry. Multiple things here.
I get that. You know what I mean? And talking about the borders and stuff like that, it was funny because I remember when I first started, I started off in 14th Division, and even to this day, like even anything west of Yonge Street, I'm good. I'm good to go. I'll tell you what division you're going to be in or where you're at. Anything east of that, I think that's like, that's not even God's country anymore. That's God's country on this side of the
I would have said God's country is anything north of Steeles. I would have said there's an invisible fog at Yonge Street. I used to tease, and I still do to this day, any officer or anyone who lives on east of Yonge Street. I don't know. I just see a fog. There's a haze. I know there's a zoo out there, and unfortunately, there used to be a science center. But beyond that, I don't know what's really on the east side. I have been to the Bluffs and Scarborough Town Center.
Okay.
But I will tell you, I am running a bike rodeo program, and it's going across the city. And I'm going to be out in 4 districts, so 43 division, a couple times to do some bike rodeos. And so I will be in Scarborough. I will get a better understanding of the lay of the land. Because it's funny, NCO, so neighborhood community officers.
Your mic sounds off.
My mic sounds off. That's probably my voice. I don't know why it would be off. Yeah. So neighborhood community officers, I will be out there. I'll get a better lay of the land because it's funny, these schools reach out and they're explaining something, and yeah, I have no idea. Like, my school, we had this or that. I'm like, I honestly don't know the area. So
yeah, it's like, I believe you. I trust you. I go from there. Look at that voice over cop. Would that be the one and only?
Sean's checking us out. So Sean is the force ghost of Sean Shapiro is in the room. I don't even it's like he's never left. I can still feel his presence. He is watching us on YouTube. So if you don't know, we stream on YouTube, Twitter, X, Facebook, TikTok,
formerly known
Instagram. We're on all those platforms. We're on Twitch as well. And these are all compliments of the what Sean has left me behind when he closed the door quickly on my face and said he was out. And just abandoned me here, but I appreciate Sean being on. So,
for the life of me, I can't remember his last name. I don't even know what his name is anymore. I think I remember what he looked like. Yeah. So
so
we do miss you, Sean. Not to lie, we do miss you quite a bit. There's actually something interesting. Can you put that question up there? Perfect.
we're gonna start taking questions right away. Okay, we're off the hop. It's 10:06. We don't even usually get the show started at 10:06, and here you are trying to take on. Let's go for it.
Well, I just it brought my it just caught my eye because I've noticed that there was something I saw on TikTok. It was some guy putting some reflective material on his calipers and something on his on inside of his grill, and I was like, wow, that looks pretty cool. Uh, Reflective, no, there's nothing against that. There's no laws that you say you cannot not put reflective stuff on your calipers. Again, I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but at the same time, it's nothing that could stop you from putting that on your car. Again, it's all it is a reflective, either paint or material. But as long as it's not interfering with people's way of travel, you're more than welcome to do that. So, yeah, good question. I like that. Neath mods. I did see that on TikTok, and I thought that it looked pretty cool. So I wanted to point that out before.
No problem. We have. I forgot to acknowledge him last time, and I actually messaged him. Evandro, who's a longtime fan of the show, our Brazilian fan, is watching again. So I want to, Evandro, I want to say bon dia, good morning to you, sir. I apologize for missing out. Sorry, he's got a huge chip on his shoulder against a very large Portuguese community. It's funny. So I did for those of you who've seen, I recently posted on TikTok, kind of introducing myself on the traffic service account. And it's funny how many folks were asking, are you Portuguese? And I'm like, yep, I am most definitely Portuguese. I will tell you, if you don't know, my Portuguese to speak conversationally can get by. It's better when I'm angry. But in general, my Portuguese is Português para falar é muito pouco. For those who understand that, you'll understand that. Yeah, I do it. I've done a ton of Portuguese media. And if you ever notice, I will always speak in English. However, I will say, if you look at the millennial Portuguese newspaper, they translate everything. And I can read it, so I get it. It looks fine. And my biggest sticking point was because I did an interview on Omni Television on a show called Focus Portuguese.
Okay.
With an awesome host. And yeah, I just sat there and my wife said, you look like a seal. Because I just kept saying, sing. So yeah, I won't go down that road again. But
that's funny. You know what? It's funny because you know what? I do value my European co-host there, or the host.
Yes,
I did do a lot of Portuguese radio with Serve, yes.
You
radio.
are listening to Serve FM.
That's right.
First I grew up on that.
Did you?
Oh yeah, gosh. My dad all the time. Every road trip, that would always be on the radio. You are with the heavy accent. I loved it. It was the constant thing going on in our house. Oh, you know what? Oh no, they're coming up. Okay. Excellent.
Beautiful. Yeah. So
voiceover cop. So yes. Sean says, "I miss you guys, except Giancarlo."
Oh.
Thank you, Sean. I miss you. I miss you too, buddy. And you know what? I have to.
Hurts.
Me and Giancarlo still share the same office.
I'm out. That's it. No, Peter needs help.
Nelson is asking chocolate glaze or Boston cream. I'll be honest with you. Neither of those really are my particular. I'm not a what, but I can't stand the Boston cream. I'm not a Boston cream guy.
Oh my God.
I am like I maybe I'm like too bougie for this, but I prefer like a gourmet kind of like donut. I don't like
gourmet.
You know what? A little bit nicer, but the chocolate glaze isn't bad. Boston cream, I'm not. Yeah, no.
I got my daughter hooked on Boston cream.
Oh, there you go.
Every time, every weekend, I can get a Boston cream. I'm like, oh, right. You know, so I got to blame myself because I'm the one that started that. So, you got my answer, Boston cream. But you're right. I think the specialty donuts, not to take away from Tim Hortons, because obviously it's always the place to go. But I do go to a bakery near my house, and it's they do the in-house stuff. And my first job was actually Tim Hortons, and those are the days where those are the days when they actually made the donuts in-house. You know, right out of the fryer, pull them off. I used to dip them and everything else. And I'll tell you right now, the sugar twist straight out of the fryer was incredible. But we're not talking about sugar twist right now. We're talking about traffic. So let's continue.
We have a question from Evandro on Instagram. What is the difference between the fine for a passenger who does not wear a seatbelt over under 16 years old? So if you're under 16, that passenger doesn't get that ticket. it would be the driver of the vehicle. So that's the main difference.
Correct.
If you
the
are
fine is the same, the points are the same, everything's the same. It's just it's the responsibility of the driver to ensure that the passengers are fast.
yeah,
Fast.
you are responsible for children. If it is an adult, they absorb that
Yes,
ticket.
of course,
They take
that
it
is
on.
correct.
So.
Yep. That is correct. Yes, there's a responsibility for everyone in that vehicle to make sure that you being the driver. At the end of the day, you're controlling that vehicle, and this is what I like. So I'll finish up with the seatbelt question first. But yes, you're as a driver. You know what? Say, hey, I'm not going to move. You're not going to put your seatbelt on. It's not. There's actually a lot of commercials out there about people involved in a collision, and the only person that actually doesn't have their seatbelt on causes the most damage to everybody else in that
Oh,
vehicle.
absolutely. I remember
So,
there used to be, I think it was an Australian one. You know what? I'm going to find that video
yes,
so I can show it.
they're very, they're
The
very
Australian, the
graphic.
New Zealand ones are very. If you ever
Very
watch New
graphic.
Zealand highway traffic enforcement, they're very graphic. They put a lot of
Very.
stats out, but it has an impact. But there used to be, I think it might have been a New Zealand or Australian one, where they show the passenger, and so it's like this couple, and they'd just been kissing on the side of the road. They got into a friend's car. The girlfriend doesn't buckle herself in. They get into a collision.
I think it was the guy that buckled himself in.
It doesn't. One of them doesn't buckle themselves in, and then you watch as it goes into slow motion as they're slowly bouncing off of them because, and it's the same idea. If you have an animal in your car, you should be securing that animal. Like if it's especially like a dog, it should be secured by a harness to the seat. Itself.
There's actually harnesses made for dogs and stuff like that.
So, yeah.
Anything in a vehicle, and you think about it, anything in a vehicle that is not secured will become a weapon in a crash. So we've done studies, we've looked at stuff. And so if you are driving around for anybody on this right now, and if you have like a package in the back seat you haven't moved for like weeks or months and stuff like that, you know what? There's nothing wrong. Throw it in the trunk. 'Cause God forbid anything were to happen involved in a crash, and then these things become projectiles, and that will hurt you quite a bit. So make sure that if you guys can remember saying, you know what, do I really need that snow brush in the back of the car? Do I need that package of like my dumbbells or anything in the back of that car? Just make sure you put it in the trunk, have it secured, so just in case something were to happen, that it wouldn't hurt you. So going back to the whole thing about the driver making sure things are proper, and you are in charge of that vessel, in charge of that vehicle. The thing I love the most is when people are like, "Oh, my GPS told me to turn here and go this way and go that way." So, you know, at the beginning of any GPS, when you're starting your GPS and telling you to go whatever which way, it's telling you to make sure you obey the traffic laws and a prohibited turn, prohibited signs, that's traffic laws. So just make sure that, unfortunately, when it comes to as a defense of saying, "Oh, officer, I made a left-hand turn here because it told me to make my left-hand turn." So be very cognizant when you do follow your GPS that you are following the rules of the road.
I just want to put this out there so that it's being recorded. He does miss you, and he put a large heart.
Okay, now I feel better.
Okay,
yes.
So thank you, Sean, for making me feel better. I was a little worried there, but I appreciate it.
Beautiful. We're talking about something today. I can't remember what it was. I don't remember.
Someone's asking. So when you ask a question, if you see it, it keeps coming up. Please put a Q in front of it, because otherwise we may ignore it. I may not know what's going on. Someone's asking this question, and I have. So you need to give me context because I have no idea what you're talking about. Or Shandu, how cop make seatbelt video in moving car? I don't know what you're referring to. So it could be in a closed route and stuff, because we do a lot of training in closed routes. So we go with, and I've discussed this before, what's called police vehicle operations. And so we have our own setup where it's a closed circuit, and we go through it. So he may have been doing it on that. I honestly don't know, but I need the reference to understand.
Yeah.
So it may have been that, and so that's how he's doing seatbelts.
There's a lot more people than just us recording the video, right? There's going to be mounted cameras. There's going to be other people in the vehicle with the camera. There's going to be different avenues we take. So as Peter said as well, yeah, there are times when we do video shooting on the live streets of Toronto, but there are times where we just do it in controlled atmosphere environments. Oh, you forgot your dad joke last week. That's what I was going to say.
Dad jokes. Kayla, I'm going. It wasn't last week, dude. We were just here on the other day.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I may end up doing this show real slow by myself in the future. What? It's really difficult. Aaron, if you're watching this,
No, she's not going to be watching this. Why would she be watching you?
she might be in Utah right now, being like, you know what? I miss Peter, my bestie, in the studio. So yeah.
All right, guys. Comedian all of a sudden. Not a cop anymore, but he's a comedian, and that is pretty
I've been
bad.
told I have a pretty good sense of humor, but thank you. I appreciate you bringing it up, and I hope to see you at my next show.
Don't click your job, please.
I'll do the audience work, and I'll just make fun of you the whole show.
Yeah, we'll see about that. All right.
Okay.
What's up? What's next? What do you got?
Why do you guys think about the electric scooter called Star? I know it can go a little bit faster. So, what do we think of e-scooters in the city of Toronto?
Negative. Do not ride them in the city of Toronto.
So
I know.
Hanish, this is something we've talked about. Sean's made videos on this in the past. So just so you're aware, there is a project, pilot project across the province for e-scooters. However, in the city of Toronto, they're not to exist. They're actually illegal. And they also have to meet a whole bunch of parameters, even when they are legal outside of us, to be an e-scooter, not go into a motor vehicle, get you a whole bunch of other issues.
Correct. Yeah. So those are micro-mobility devices, and that device itself is not. There are bylaws in the city of Toronto that do not allow them to be operated in the city of Toronto. Now, going outside of the city of Toronto, if you're a municipality that adopt that project, just be very cautious about that, because those tires are not that big, and over time, roads are not always that smooth, or never. There's always the potholes, there's the cracks that happen in the pavement. So if you think you're like, you know what, I'm going to save some time by going a little faster, you just be very cautious about that, because if your tire gets caught in that rut, you're going to go flying, and the e-scooter itself, it might get damaged, but it's going to hurt you a lot more than the actual e-scooter itself.
You want to take this one on? Jim is asking, why is it that anti-protest blocking traffic, screaming obscenities are not arrested on the spot?
That is above my pay grade.
That is definitely above our pay grade. I will tell you though, is it Jim? Jim, just so you're aware, you're allowed to have protests. We have demonstrations across the city on the daily. Do they block traffic at times? Yes.
Yes.
But that would definitely be something you would have to bring up with folks above our pay grade.
Correct.
Because I can't actually comment on that, other than folks are allowed to have peaceful protests.
Peaceful protests, yes.
They do occur on the regular.
Yep.
So yeah,
it's very fluid when it comes to protests. If something that is manageable before it gets really big, they do. Again, as I said, this is way above our pay grade. They will tell us how to handle the situation when it comes to the protest. So sometimes they, okay, you know what, give them a couple of minutes of fame, no problem. Then we can move them off onto the sidewalks, and then if it gets more violent and more volatile, then yes, there are different actions we have, and we got to make sure that we have enough staffing to control those protests. Because if there's going to be 4 officers with about 50 people, it might not be something that we were able to handle right away.
What DOT approved smoke front windows still violate tint laws? Would DOT approved front windows still violate tint laws? This is Jonah from the Creamy Noodle.
DOT approved smoked front windows still violate tint laws. So I don't know what DOT. The only one I know of is the UV ray screen that Land Rover and Mercedes still use. I think that might be still fine as long as it's aftermarket, I believe. But yeah, we have an issue with the people with I'm not going to discriminate against Honda Civics or big pickup trucks and stuff like that, tinting their front windshield. That's where I have my problem, and where you can't even see inside of it. See, with the UV, I believe it does change at night. You can still see through it very clearly. The problem you run into when it's tinted is everything gets that much darker. And I said like this week, because you throw a little bit of like a rain, a little bit of the
even darkness. Now sunset happens.
Oh my god!
So
now it's
early.
what, 7 now, 6:30 now. I don't even know what it is anymore.
Yeah,
but it's so much earlier at night. So,
and really, at the end of the day, we've had this discussion. Tinting, regardless of 30% or whatever, it comes down to the discretion of the officer. Can they clearly identify who's in the vehicle? That's going to be the difference, right? So I may drive by and say, I couldn't tell you who's driving that vehicle. He may say, well, I can. However, I can guarantee you both of us will agree, hey, man, it's like 7 o'clock. It's starting to get dark. I have no idea who's driving that vehicle. Correct. You're going to get the tip, right? Regardless.
Correct.
So, yeah. I'm going to tell you, yes, you can, but be careful. The front windshield shouldn't happen at all, but
yeah, correct.
Hey, y'all, how many points? This is from MK. Hey, y'all, how many points? Am I saying that? Hey, y'all. I feel like I got a little bit of a tang. Hey, y'all, how many points is it going? South. Yeah. How many points is it going 40 over?
40 over. Well, it depends where you are. If it's anything with a speed, limited. Well, oh my God, a posted speed limit. There you go. Thank you. Under 80 kilometers an hour, that's considered stunt driving. So it all depends on where you are and what street. If you're on the highways where the posted speed limit is 100, I think it's four points for the 40 over. I believe it is. So don't quote me.
But I feel like it might be more, but.
So then there's the stunt driving as well. So stunt driving, there's no fixed points. However, there is the automatic roadside suspension, the impound of your vehicle, up to $10,000 fines, up to 6 months in jail, all that good stuff. So if you are finding yourself in city streets,
correct. Yes, 30 to 49 is 4 points. 50 plus is 6 points.
So yeah, so you have to understand now, stunt driving is separate to the actual speed. So when we put people over for stunt driving, you actually get 2 tickets, one for the stunt driving and actually one for the speed as well. So as at the end of the day, don't speed. Watch your speedometer, and then watch your speed limit. What roads you're on. Just be careful when they do change. You know, if you are on a street and all of a sudden it goes from like a 60 to a 40, 40 to 50. Just be aware when they do change the speed limits.
That sounded reasonable to me. Someone's asking, are you coming down on fake driver schools? That's not a police.
Oh.
That's not necessarily ours. That's the ministry that comes down on them. They're the ones who give the accreditation.
Correct.
So they're the ones who come down. I know CBC Marketplace did a fantastic episode on this exact thing. Yeah, okay. So they were going to these schools, and all these folks were offering like, hey, instead of coming in $150 or whatever, and I'll get you your class time will become non-existent.
You know that phrase, if it's too good to be true?
I know, but some people are just shortcuts.
And that's the.
There's also been an investigation done into beyond, like, if you're talking fake drivers, like, so just G driver's license. There's been the discussion around transport trucks. So folks are getting their transport
on a pickup truck. Yeah, I've heard that before. So yeah, I know that. Unfortunately, there are people out there trying to make the quick buck and everything else. But again, if they're like, yeah, we'll get you your AZ license for $100, and you guys are practicing on a Dodge Ram, you need to start asking some questions.
All right. I hope that answers your question, Canadian Peach. I'm going to move on to, I love this. This is where I think folks are a little taking it to the next level. Is it okay to use a phone in a drive-through to pay for your order? If you're on private property and you're going through the actual drive-through itself and you're using your phone, yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Not a problem.
As long as you're not on a roadway, so a highway. And a highway is anything from curb to curb, not a highway where you're only
fence line.
Sorry, where you're not. It doesn't matter the speed. If it's a public road, that is a highway under the Highway Traffic Act. As long as you're not on that, so you're not sitting in the Tim Hortons line, because we all know they get a little bit long sometimes, and they're staying on a major street or a small street, regardless. Then no, you cannot. However, if you're pulling up to the window and you're already on the private property, you've probably already put your order through because you're going to tap to pay. Yeah. Absolutely, you can. I would even tell you, if you're waiting in, say, McDonald's lineup, and you're trying to make it quick so that you can just tell them what your order number is and they bring it up. Yes, as long as you're on private property, you can absolutely use your cell phone to pay, to place that order, as long as you're not on a highway or roadway. Highway is what it's on the thing.
Yeah,
I know people highway, get confused.
Yeah, because I know, say highway, it's actually a roadway. So any street does that.
Like when we went to training and they're telling me, well, this is a highway, I'm like,
no, it's not.
No, this is a street. It's a street. Yeah, it's a road.
Your problem, man.
Because you assume highway means like, the 400 series,
yes,
and all that kind of thing. No, the Highway Traffic Act is highway is fence line to fence line. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But yes, you can most definitely. What would happen? Let's go on to what would happen if you're caught 60 kilometers over on the highway? A lot of not good things. no car, no driver's license, instant 7-day suspension,
And
car
I'm going to
taken
assume
away.
Jacob's probably a very young driver.
Yes.
And I don't know if it did happen to you or someone that you know or anything like that. Um, like, you understand everybody. So stunt driving, like, just even think to yourself, I'm going 60 kilometers over the speed limit. Like, like first and foremost, you have to ask yourself the question, like, should I really be doing this? And is it safe? So I'll tell you right now, stunt driving, as I just mentioned about 30 seconds ago, you lose your car. You lose your car for a week. No, it's 2 weeks now, isn't it?
Is it 2 weeks?
Is it 2 weeks now? Oh my god, it's been such a long time. I do apologize, everybody. Um, I think it's 2 weeks for your car, 30 days for your license, and then you go to court. And it's not a ticket you can pay. You have to go and explain to the court why you did what you did, and they could throw you in jail. They could give you a $10,000 fine, and they can continue suspending your license. So, my suggestion to you, Jacob,
It's a 14-day impound.
yeah, and a 30-day license suspension. Yeah, so
Correct.
it started off with a 7-day
Minimum fine of
vehicle.
2,000, maximum fine of 10,000 on your
First offense. Yeah, that's right. First offense. So yeah, it used to start off with a week vehicle and 2 weeks license. And I'll tell you right now, everybody, they don't care whose car it is. And if it's your only family car, if it's a rental car, I've seen these rental cars before. And guess what? You're still on the hook at the end of the day for the fees. So just be aware. You know, you decide to. I lend Peter my car, and he decides to be going 60 kilometers over the speed limit. Guess what? I'm
I've
going
done
to be very, very upset with Peter.
I've been there where I've taken the car and the guy's like, "Hold on, that's my car you're taking." I'm like, "You got to be careful who you share your car with, right? Like everything else." So.
Even like the red light cameras. Another thing I want to mention, because I know a lot of times, like, I'm in court and stuff like that. People are like, "Oh, the red light camera. It wasn't my car. It wasn't the drive." It's the owner of that vehicle. So again, I lend my car to Peter because I'm such a nice guy, and Peter's a bad driver and decides to go through a red light camera or even the speed enforcement cameras. Guess what? I'm getting the bill, not Peter.
Yep. Just
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Sorry, trying to pay multiple attention to multiple things here. I'm like ultimate multitasking here, but I saw this and this kind of stuck out to me.
Okay, go ahead.
I have my full G, but I'm not legal drinking age. Can I still drive the BAC under 4.08? Well, technically, he can drink at home. He can drink at a friend's house. He just can't drink at a licensed establishment.
It does not matter if you're a full G driver's license. You're still considered a novice driver. So how's that?
He has a G.
Novice driver. They're a young driver. So young driver up to the age of 21, I believe it is. So even though you think, hey, I'm 18, I got my full G, that's great, and congratulations. But and now BC under the 0.08 is a provincial. The numbers are like this. If you are a 25-year-old male, female, or my God, what's that word I'm looking for? Non-binary person, whoever you are. If you are a 25-year-old adult, we'll go this way, an adult, and you have a BAC of 0.04, you're good. So anything from 0.04 or 0.05 or 50 to up to 80 is a provincial suspension. So you're in the warn range, which means that you're going to lose your license, but it's not a criminal charge. It's just a provincial charge. But if you blow over the 0.08 or the 80, you're under arrest. You go to the station, provide 2 samples of your breath, talk to a lawyer, lose your car, lose your license, and all that good stuff with it. So it's got to be people got to understand that there's well, 3 levels. 0 to the 49 is going to be you're able to drive, had some alcohol. Your 50 to your 80 is going to be your provincial suspension, and it starts off with a 3-day suspension. Your second time, 7 days. Third time, 30 days, and then anything subsequent to that is going to be a 6-month suspension. And then you probably have to go to the back on track. If you're being caught so many times within that warn range, there is a little bit of an issue that we do have that you need to get addressed, and that's where the province will say, you know what, you've had your chances, continue to drink and driving. Now you need to get some help in order to get your license back. Not saying now people understand that the over 80 charge compared to the impaired driving are two separate charges. You can actually blow, and I'll tell you right now, I've arrested somebody that blew under the legal limit and actually just around the Warren range, and I arrested him for impaired driving. He actually bounced off a few parked cars. So even though people think, "Oh man, I'm under the legal limit, I'm going to be perfectly fine," but if your ability to operate that vehicle is impaired any which way, could be with drugs and or alcohol, you're going to be arrested for the impaired driving. So just be aware that there are two separate charges when it comes down to the drinking and driving offenses.
And there you go, Ritza. I hope I'm saying that properly, but thank you so much for asking that question. Thank you to Giancarlo for the very
long-winded. I talked too much. I didn't do apologize, but you know what? There's so much stuff I want to pass on my knowledge.
I would edit that one later on, potentially if I knew how to edit. But I still think TikTok only gives me a 10-minute limit. So we're gonna have to pause you out. You know what? In the future, maybe I'll just cut your mic and be like, "Yeah, we're gonna stop it right there. We're gonna stop right there."
Yeah.
Give me from dispatcher, and I love this. I just want to thank all the men and women of the TPS service. We appreciate that very much, and especially if, as coming as a dispatcher, we appreciate all the civilians who play roles in the background, but especially dispatchers. You don't know when you call 911, you're not speaking to a police officer, you're speaking to a civilian dispatcher. But they are truly the front line because they are taking that initial call, regardless of what's going on, and they can't actually act on it, other than like getting like the resources to you. It must be really tough on their end to be hearing all this, but they can't physically help you, and that's where we come in. But I appreciate especially dispatchers most of all because they are truly the front line. They get the unfiltered, they throw it down into us, but we don't hear that call, right? So they're typing it and we see it on a screen without hearing what's going on. And
that's hard. That's hard.
If you imagine watching a movie and closing your eyes and just relying on sound, it's incredible, like the impact it can have on you. So dispatchers do an amazing job. But thank you so much for saying that.
They're the first point of contact, right? So at the end of the day, they're the ones taking your call or whoever the emergency call that they need. And it's kudos to them because they do a great job, and thank you for what you do.
Hi, this is from Smith Wealth. Hi, do you have to stop at stop signs at shopping malls? #private property.
What do you think, Peter?
So technically, under the Highway Traffic Act, those stop signs are not enforceable. It's not like I'm going to come and give you a stop sign ticket. Correct. However, if you go through that stop sign and get into a collision, I'm going to tell you probably should have stopped and done it in a safe manner because there are stunt driving, dangerous driving, all these things that come into.
Yeah, so now I think they finally put the stunt driving to anywhere. It used to be just the roadway, and now they've actually put it to anywhere. So if you're to combat those
burnouts and all that,
burnouts and the donuts they're doing in the parking lot, stuff like that. So
so-called car shows.
Yeah. Oh yes. There could be bylaws to regulations.
So we're getting technical. I'm going to tell you, no, technically, no. But it's in your best interest to do it because if it happens, I'm going to tell you your insurance is not going to look favorably upon you anyway. And so I would tell you stop, but technically, if you're not going to get a ticket for fail to stop at a stop sign on private property. Could you get dangerous driving? Yes, and that actually elevates it. Now you're not like getting a provincial offense ticket; you're getting a criminal charge.
But there also could be the municipality charges as well. Correct. So even though it's not an HTA offense, still there could be a municipality offense where you can actually get a ticket on private property. So you can get ticketed from that.
Does the TPS have e-bicycles in their fleet? No, we don't as of now.
We try. I think they're trying to pilot a couple of things. So they are looking at a few options when it comes to e-bikes. It's just I don't know what when it comes down to if they're going to put them in the fleets. And I think more the charging of them and how long does it take to charge, and depending on because these bicycles don't have limitation on how far to go. I don't know. I think there was some talks about it, and it's in the works, and this would be a fleet question, not ours.
Yeah, we don't control how that goes, but yeah,
I would have loved to have.
I would tell you I used to be a crew guy. Crew is responsibility at one point. Unit that no longer exists for most part of the state. 2 divisions now. And you ride bikes all the time. I used to love riding bikes. However, if you're not familiar with division. So I know you're probably thinking, where's 12? Black Creek and Chathui. Everything from Black Creek and Chathui is a hill.
Oh,
And so when you leave that station to get anywhere within like 100 meters from there, you are either going down a hill, up a hill, down a hill, up. Like it's all over the place. So I'm sure an e-bike would probably go over well with some. I prefer the thing. But you know what? There's like the occasional hills that would be great to be able to, like, I'm just going to give this a little bit extra and not have to pedal as hard.
yes,
So
yes.
yeah.
I love
E-bikes,
that one. Yes.
dear chief. Let's look a little harder into thing.
Yes. Thanks for my cardio, but I would love some help.
On a side note, if you haven't heard, Chief Demke yesterday came out. He's been 5 years clean from cancer. He's cancer free. So congratulations to him. That's a huge thing.
Stage 3. At stage 3.
So he talked about it last year at the Wellness Day, and I truly appreciate it, like a personal connection to it. And as someone who actively donates blood and got Giancarlo donate for his first time the other day, it's folks like beyond the chief. It's folks like that who are going through cancer and need the transfusion stuff. That's why we donate. And so at the end of every show, you always see I bring up donations, and I'll bring it up again at the end of the show. But if you can donate, you have an opportunity of saving
What's your
someone's
title
life.
again?
I am co-champion. Co-champion. My other champion is Inspector Dave Eklund, who I've no doubt is not watching this, but if he is, I appreciate you. And he has a life story as to why he can't donate himself, but how blood transfusions and save his life. But now we're getting off on the e-bicycle questions here. I'm going to be honest. So these kind of questions, we have these discussions in the office, and these kind of questions worry me. That can I drive on a highway with a G2? So you are going through a graduated licensing. You should have studied all of this, but yet these things come up on a regular basis. And I'm going to tell you, so I'm working on our link tree. So if you look onto our TikTok, you'll see that our link tree is there. And so basically I'm trying to almost put an FAQ there. And I've already have a link for the Ontario Highway Traffic Act. So you can look this all up in theory by yourself. However, this worries me. No, constantly.
Turn off my mic.
This worries me. Can I drive on a highway with G2? I'm going to tell you, if you're looking at Giancarlo's reaction, that's probably a huge negative. But I'm also worried that you're asking this if you're only a G1, or if you're going through the graduate licensing, you really need to do your studying, because this also brings the concern of why are drivers not doing their part on the road. If you're just starting, you need to know these simple facts before coming to us. And I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
I'm giving them a hard time. Okay. No, I'm giving them a hard time. I love. I'm okay with people asking, where do I look for this information, right? I've always inquired about this. When things are plain and simple and they're in black and white, especially when you're going through your licensing, thank God this is not my show. I refuse to answer those questions. So, Saeed, this is part of your studying, and not to call you up, I'm calling you out. Anyone that asks, the G2 questions, the G1 questions, and all that kind of stuff, you guys need to look. It starts with you. If you're gonna go through life asking questions and not doing your own homework and things like that, you know what? Maybe it's a life lesson. Do your own research. And as much as to actually,
I don't know if we want to encourage people always to do their own research. I always love people who say, "Well, I did my own research." Set up your own lab. You had your petri dishes.
They said, but this one, as much as for them to write this comment down on the question on TikTok, which I appreciate everyone that sends questions. I love it. Don't get me wrong. This kind of here, you could have went to Google, and the first line that would have popped up, and he would have had his questions answered about half an hour ago, was the answers looking for.
So Giancarlo is far more straightforward with it. I've Googled a couple things just to make sure we're still on the same page here, because the Highway Traffic Act is a very thick piece of legislation. And so, yeah.
I'm not.
Okay, so we're going to move on from this.
Yes.
Just so we're clear.
I think you did that on purpose, too.
Yeah. Don't. Highway G2 is a no-no.
No.
So yeah. I saw this question. Where did this one go? There was, did I get rid of it? There was a question about eyesight.
And the glasses.
Yes,
glasses. Cop. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you wear glasses to be a police officer? So I know when I got on, you had to have 20/40 uncorrected, 20/20 correct. So meaning, there you go. Thank you so much to our moderator, who's doing a fantastic job. I just want to compliment her as she knocks it out of the park.
Awesome.
She is awesome. She does not want to be on camera. She is camera shy, but she is incredible. She just gave us the smiley face. I think that's the go ahead to say, keep going, keep pumping the tires. You're doing an awesome job. But yes, if you
Maybe
you'll
reading
see
my
police
mic
officers who
sometimes.
wear glasses.
Correct.
So as long as you have 20/40, so if those glasses would get knocked off in your face, you would need 20/40. That's to get hired on. Later on, if your eyesight as age comes and goes, that's a different thing. I will tell you, look, 20 plus years ago, I had laser eye surgery done because I didn't have 20/40 uncorrected. And I went through the process of laser eye surgery, which was a very different process 20 plus years ago. But I had it done. My results lasted for a long time. I also kind of have free uh, touch-ups if I ever need them. I'll be honest with you. I don't ever want to. I don't ever want to go under a laser again. I'm much older in life now, and I worry about what could potentially the outcomes of. But I would tell you it was a really safe process. I enjoyed it. The place I went to was fantastic. It's downtown Toronto. They will tell you. I think they literally wrote the book on laser eye surgery, kind of thing. And they don't do all the catchy commercials, but yeah, fantastic place. And 20 plus years later, my eyesight's pretty good. I do occasionally wear glasses. It all depends if I actually want to see people in front of me. No, I'm kidding. Uh, so, but yeah, so no. But if you have glasses, as long as it's 20/40 uncorrected when you're getting hired. Later on in life, if you need glasses, you need
Yeah,
glasses.
unfortunately, I know. My
So-
eyesight's starting to go just so slightly. and I'm
Thank
like,
you, moderator, for finding that one and putting it out there.
Yes, she's awesome. Thank you so
Hi,
much.
good morning. It's Queen Dolly. Is that Dolly? Yeah, Queen Dolly. Hi, good morning. If there's plates under your name, can a person renew them without you knowing? If you have someone on the inside of ministry, which is not unheard of at times, it has happened in the
Right.
past, but it's still a very rare occurrence.
I don't
And your plates will automatically renew.
know.
If their plates under your name, can a person renew them without you knowing? Well, the ministry renews them now automatically.
No.
What do you mean your license plates automatically renew now?
You have to go on. No. Peter. So ever since we did get rid of the renewals for the stickers, you still have to go yearly and update your information saying, yeah, I still have insurance on my vehicle. I think they still ask you for the kilometers. And if there's any outstanding fees or fines that need to be paid up before you actually renew them. So having a person renew them without your knowledge, I think would be kind of hard. I don't know. That would have to be a ministry question. So I don't know I don't know what kind of benefit that would be if that's the case. So I don't know. That might be a good question to ask the
So if you
ministry.
don't have fines, your plates will and make sure you have for your plates will automatically renew as of July 1st, 2024.
Oh, they just changed it.
Starting July 1st, 2024, eligible license plates will renew automatically. This is the whole process. As long as your fines are paid and you don't have any outstanding things,
Right.
your plates will automatically renew. This was part of the government's promise to you to make it easier because there was a lot of issues around plates going expired and folks not knowing the process. Because if you don't know, the idea of a letter coming home to tell you either your plates, your driver's license are expired doesn't happen anymore. You have to go online.
Unless there's a fine then.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to go online and you can set yourself up for text messages or emails, which I know is not ideal for the elderly. But if you don't, you're going to drive around with an expired driver's license because you didn't do your part. You know, maybe that's a link I will put up later on through our link tree so that you can check, so that you can enroll into your automatic renewal because it does. It will automatically renew. So I don't even know if it's not going to ask you for your insurance every year because it's just automatically renew.
Yeah, you know what? Peter, I was wrong.
Hey, no, you know what? Outside of this,
take this moment in, buddy.
yeah, outside of this show, I would tell you you're wrong probably often, but not here on this show. You are my fountain of information, and I appreciate you so much.
I did.
So I don't. So to that, is someone else renewing it? Well, the government's automatically renewing it regardless for you.
So yes, someone else can.
So yeah,
So
the ministry does it in the background.
Yeah.
And
as long as there's no fee. And these
Correct.
fees are parking tolls, things, and also your red light cameras and your speed enforcement cameras too, because it all goes back to the license plate.
Yeah, so your vehicle must have a valid plate and be insured to drive legally in Ontario. Automatic license plate renewal. Your plate may automatically renew if you drive a passenger vehicle, light commercial vehicle under 3,000 kilograms, motorcycle and a moped. For your license plate to renew automatically, you must have a valid insurance and no outstanding fines or tolls.
So how do they verify valid insurance?
Good question. When your license plate automatically renews, it will be valid for 1 year. Law enforcement will be instantly aware your license plate was renewed. We will not contact you to confirm your license plate was renewed. So they're not going to tell you. You will not receive a sticker because gone are the days of stickers.
Correct.
You will not have to pay a fee. License plates that do not automatically renew would be commercial and business vehicles, motorhomes, vehicles manufactured before 1983, buses and school buses, and snowmobiles. Okay.
Hmm.
There's a whole process. You know what? I will put up this link onto our link tree. So if you look under our TikTok account, you'll see a link tree there.
Mhm.
I will, you know what? I'm going to make this a shortcut because I'm trying to build kind of an FAQ there so that folks like yourself who have questions like
And
this.
G1, G2 questions too might be a good one.
No.
Okay.
I'm going to try to help as much as I can. So, can I drive a e-bike faster than 32 kilometers an hour, or you all be annoying about it? Would you be annoying about it? If he's driving
Well,
32 kilometers?
faster than, and now it's a limited speed motorcycle. And now you need a license, registration,
Sounds like we're going to be on you.
plates. How's that?
How about if you don't do it,
Easy.
you're attracting attention. I don't know if we're being annoying or you're being annoying by not knowing the rules. I'm not quite sure how that works.
And again, at the same time, is like we have a job. Just like everyone else has a job, right? Everyone has a job. You go, you sign in, you got to do what you got to do, and then you go home at the end of the day. So guess what? Our job is to enforce the Highway Traffic Act. It is to catch criminals. It is to do investigations and all that. So I don't know if we're annoying, but we are the people that enforce it. So sorry for doing our job sometimes.
There you go. Can I put a
Oh, yeah.
100-watt headlight bulb on my car? Is it illegal? Is it legal? 100-watt each bulb.
Well, I'll tell you right now, 100 watts seems very strong, and I think that's going to be too much because, yes, you can get a ticket for having your lights too bright. I don't know. Yeah, this is. I don't even know how to research. I have no clue. So how about we get back to that? Okay, let's
There you
send
go.
this
Auto detailing. If
if your car doesn't come stock with it, anything modifying your vehicle, you could get charged with. Is that better? Because as I said, remember we were talking about license plate covers, even though it doesn't come with it, and you guys put something on it, anything to cover your license plate, yes. Putting too dark of a tint, that's aftermarket. Anything that doesn't come standard, that's not approved or was approved through the Transport Canada.
supposed to be 55 watts, so we're clear.
There you go. So yes,
That's
it's
the standard.
illegal. How's that?
I don't know if, yeah, I'd have to look into whether or not it's illegal, but your standard is 55. That's a good thing to know about. We'll have to look at that and take
But
that.
thanks for the question. Auto detailing.
How does demerit points work when you have two license classes, G and M? Do they count for both? Greg.
I'm assuming, Greg, this is your one license, but you have two license classes. So it doesn't matter what you drive. People with AZ, DZ, and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't matter. All your points, it goes to your license. So not your actual class, it's your license. So the license number you see at the top of your license, driver's license, it all gets associated to that. So it doesn't matter if you got a speeding ticket on your motorcycle. Will it affect your insurance on your motor vehicle? Most likely it will. I can't say 'cause I'm not an
I just
insurance
want to say thank you to everyone who's in the chat who are helping one another. I appreciate it because, yeah, we get to the questions, but we tend to get to the questions a little bit later on, and we're always kind of behind where the questions are coming in because we give full answers and responses. But I appreciate people in the chat who are trying to keep up with it and sharing their perspective and what they've probably already heard on the show and stuff and their knowledge base.
I saw
So I
a question
appreciate
over
that.
there. The
Question.
radar detector.
The radar detector. It's up on this one too.
Okay.
Moderator, where was that radar detector one? Right here. Is it illegal to have radar detectors? Radar detectors. Is it illegal?
So sorry to bust your bubble here, but we have radar detectors. So how's that?
And
So
they have
if
detectors.
I were to tell you that we had a radar detector, then that should answer your question. But Braden, thank you very much for that question. It's great.
They don't get sold in Ontario in general.
and
I know if you go into like a Vision Electronics, they have them, but they'll tell you to be aware of your provincial laws.
correct.
So not in Ontario.
So Braden, another thing I want to extend to you is that if our little machine goes off and you have a radar detector that our detector detected, we are allowed to go through your vehicle and find it. And if you don't give it up, guess what? Your car will be torn apart. So if you decide to use your radar detector and you get caught, I would probably say, sorry, officer, here it is. Because if we start going through your car and starting finding things that we shouldn't be finding, that might be a bad day for you as well. So just make sure that we have the right to go through that car to find that detector.
There you go, Braden. To Is that Lexi? Can you report someone for reckless driving if you have video footage of excessive speeds?
100%.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so here's my issue about the video of footage of excessive speeds. It would be
Mhm.
interesting how do you compare your video to say that they're excessive speed. However, can you report them for reckless driving? Absolutely. You can go onto the TPS website. There's a driving complaint section. That I can put that up here. If you actually go into it, you can, if you go into tps.ca, it'll be the first thing. It's kind of like a splash screen. It'll come up as the first thing, and you can go there. And from there, you can go into driving complaints, um, and you can file a complaint about drivers. I don't. So the only cautionary thing is, I appreciate showing excessive speeds, but we'd have to know what everyone else is. I only say this because I used to be a driving complaints officer, and I used to have this particular individual who was adamant that people were speeding all the time on the street based on the video, and they would say, "Well, the car goes from this side of the window to this side of the window, and this is the calculation." I'm like, no.
So
I
hold on.
appreciate it,
So
but yes, in theory,
we can, when we do a lot of investigations when it comes to serious collisions and fatalities, that we can kind of look at
but
the
there's an
way.
expertise to that.
100%. Yes, we have experts that will look into that. So yes, so there is a way of determining that. The only thing is if you're reporting them because while you're driving and watching that, we can't because you're moving as well. It has to be a stationary camera. Now, if it's reckless, 100% because that there will be under careless or dangerous depending on the actions of that driver. So as Peter was saying, we do have a reporting system in place for that. So please, if you do, you can have it, attach the video or ask them. If there's a video available if need be, and then we can definitely follow up with that. So thank you very much, Lexi, for that question.
Thank you, Lexi. So, yes or no? You can report it. I don't know if this is speed, but I would still encourage you to report it. We need to really get bad drivers off the road. There are way
100%.
too many of them. So,
Mm-hmm.
what? So this is from larger than, is that greater than 3 or lesser than 3? I gotta
Or
check
is it a
on.
kiss?
Is it a kiss? Is it a kiss? Okay, we'll go with that. What do you do? It's a heart.
Oh, it's a heart.
Thank you,
Oh.
moderator. You know what? Thanks.
I think we're
Thanks,
just
moderator.
too old.
Yeah, thanks, moderator. I appreciate that.
Oh,
Thank you so much for
sorry.
updating us.
Yes.
And just so you're aware, we have 8 minutes, and I know you want to do a slow
Well,
goodbye,
you know
but
what?
we have 8 minutes left on the
You-
show. 7 actually now.
You're coming
Uh,
off cold turkey. It's like it's like.
I got to get to dad jokes. A
Well,
couple
then
other things.
then
Yes.
hurry it up.
What do you do if you're going to the speed limit and someone is tailgating you? This is my bane of my existence. Every day I see it all the time. I always love the people who are like, especially if you're in that passing lane,
Yeah.
you're still passing cars, but yet they're on your
They're
tail.
on your
What you
tail.
don't realize is you're trying to keep a safe distance and like from the car in front of you.
Mhm.
Because I'm going to tell you, and I see it too often. And this is always in my own personal car. Is folks, all it takes is for that person up front to hit their brakes because something
yeah.
happens. That person behind you is going to eat your rear bumper, and it's not going to be your fault. If you avoid the collision in front of you, it's that tailgater's fault. No one wants to get into that collision. But I don't know where people think. I'm like, you're driving at 100 kilometers. We all know you're probably driving faster than that, especially if you're in the passing lane.
What would you say 100 kilometers per hour?
We're going to say 100 kilometers for this. It takes nothing. You do not have the ability to instantly stop. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to stop and all of a sudden. But there are a lot of terrible drivers. Hopefully they're paying terrible insurance because we already pay an exorbitant amount of insurance in Ontario. Probably, I think, the highest in the country, I believe. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
What
So
do you do?
What do you do? Just what you can't.
To keep yourself safe, tell you if you can get out of the way.
Exactly. There's no point.
Just let it pass. There's no point in being there.
No.
You're also putting yourself at risk. As much as that person is putting you at risk, you staying there, and it sucks, and you're kind of bowing to somebody else. Yeah, what you can do is you can always call police, even when you're driving. You call 911 and report your driver. And I'm sure the OPP, depending to what roadway you're on, would be more than happy to catch up with that person and make their day probably far more.
If you have dash cam and everything else, you can always make that complaint later, having the license plate number and everything else. So that's good. As going back to your question, just get out of the way. Just because these people are very aggressive, and I've seen people actually get out of the way, but then what they would do then is pretty much taunt them and then go in front of them and try to brake check them and do stupid dumb things, and just to avoid that. I don't know why people are so stressed when they drive. And that's why I'm like, you know what, just let people be them. When I drive, and I do have a good 45 an hour drive sometimes. I just put my music on, think about my day, think about the great day I had with Peter, and
Is that as you're flying by me on the highway?
well, no, because just because you go 75 in the 100 zone, but whatever, doesn't mean that again,
I will say I got on the highway this morning coming in. I think it was 427 at one point, and then the pickup in front of me. And I'll be honest with you, in general, there's nothing against pickup drivers. I always find they're the more aggressive at times. This guy was doing 70.
Really?
I'm like, what are you doing?
70s, yeah.
70,
But there's also a charge
for impeding traffic, the flow of traffic, 100% unnecessary. Like,
yes.
But yeah, I was just like, what?
Yeah.
He did stick to the far right, so maybe he was
Good
having
for him.
something mechanically wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Four-way flashers.
No, he didn't have that going.
Communicate your actions. And that's what it comes down to. When it comes to driving, just communicate. You know what? If I'm going to be driving slow because I do have a car issue, four-way flashers, get off the road. But I hate, you do see the people, white knuckles, holding on to that steering wheel, and they are doing 60 on the highways. And so just be very cautious. If you're just communicate when we're out there driving around. So Peter, you know what? We do have 4 minutes. I know there's a couple things you want to do. So let's make sure we
need to
ease into our goodbyes instead of just like, see, I didn't even have a chance to say goodbye, and I'm still hurt.
So we're gonna ease this into like the ocean, like it's the Titanic, and we're the band playing. I'm not sure the imagery is the best.
No,
it's a slow goodbye because I was told the other day I was kind of quick, not by anybody here, but everybody in the office who watches apparently told me, and yeah, him as well. So we're gonna go to a dad joke from Akela because I always appreciate a good Star Wars joke. Did you know Han Solo doesn't believe in Santa? He's a rebel without a clause. Yeah, that's good. Okay, Giancarlo's not a Star Wars fan, so we're gonna.
We are totally opposite.
Yeah, or he's a Star Trek fan. He he wants to come out here and do fist pumping like on Jersey Shore, which we have talked about.
I'm not sure if we're there yet.
Yeah, we're not sure if we're there yet. And as much as we may think it's funny, I'm not sure a command or a corporate communication may think it's funny when we come out here and we fist pump. Okay. And, we fist pump all day, and we wear headbands with like the Toronto Police logo. We've got it all down.
Yes.
But yeah. So
hey, bro.
Why do archaeologists? Why do archaeologists lead sad lives? Because their careers lie in ruins. Michaela? Hold on.
There it is. Okay, I can do that.
See, Giancarlo,
I can do that.
That's the last one. But anyways, folks, we are coming to the end of our show. I'm going to hype up as always at the end of every show. If you can donate blood, please donate. You have the impact of potentially saving up to 3 lives when you donate blood. Your donation of 1 hour, that's the max kind of time it takes. Potentially impacts 3 lives, where you can potentially give someone an opportunity at a longer life with friends and family, and potentially saving their life and giving them a whole new life and a whole new opportunity on that. I'm going to say goodbye for myself. We are going to put up the TPS careers video because what I want to do is always promote that the Toronto Police Service is hiring. We have a ton of job calls. We need a ton of qualified folks out there. And so, folks, please, if you can, we'd love to have you apply for a job within the service and come be part of who we are and what we do. Giancarlo?
No, I want to thank Peter for giving me the opportunity to say goodbye to everybody. It's been a great show. I hope I get to hear more often. It would be great to be here, and I think Peter doesn't mind me as much. Maybe Aaron a little bit more, but I think I'll be bothering him a lot more than Aaron. So thanks everybody. I appreciate the questions, and if I did offend anybody, I'm so sorry. But listen, the answers are out there for you to research as well. But we're here next week. See you guys soon,
folks. It's Friday. Have a safe weekend. We'll be back next week, most likely Tuesday when Aaron's back, so I can take a break from Giancarlo. But yeah,
can't live without me. I know.
Without a doubt, it is the brother I've never wanted, but I've been forced upon. But I love it. So thank you so much. Take care. Have a great weekend. All the best.
Yes.
Your future career starts with a vision. a vision of opportunities ahead, where you can see a path to a noble career, serving the city of Toronto. Where do you see yourself? Toronto Police Service. Apply today.